And I got a book to read too.
Oh, you're gonna come back such a Samantha.
Oh yeah, it's a Sex and the City picture book. So
You
there's a lot of different.
leave a Charlotte and you come back a Samantha.
I'm so Samantha.
You have a very funny bit about dating a sugar baby.
Yeah,
I wondered if it's true.
yeah, it is. I'm still friends with her.
Okay.
It was back in Chicago, and I had met her at a show, and then we just started like hanging out, and then she told me like after we were seeing each other for a little while that she's like, oh, by the way, I don't just bartend twice a week. I also make my money this way. And I was curious because she was always paying for everything. I'm like, all right. So she had a lot of guys that wouldn't even. I think there was like at one point when it's kind of weird to talk about, but like at one point I was seeing her and she was like, she had like 2 or 3 sugar daddies, but she didn't sleep with them. They just like took her out. They were older guys. They took her to like Hamilton, and then then she'd leave and be like, all right, I'll see you later. And then she'd come meet up me and we go get drinks. And then
Wait, did you kind of want to do that to see Hamilton? I mean, those were hard tickets.
I swear to God, I joked with her. That's how the joke started. Was I was like, "How do you do this? Like, how does this start? How do I get into this?" And then she's like, "You wouldn't be able to." But then she told me everything about it, and that's where the joke came.
Do it for guys if you're like, well, I'm not going to sleep with you, but I will go to Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think there's as many sugar mamas out there as there are sugar daddies.
Maybe in Aspen and Florida.
That's the best place to go. That's where I should head out.
That's where all the cougars hang out. Yeah,
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I have the sugar what would it be? A sugar boy?
a sugar boy.
That doesn't. Even though it does look like that would be my Twitter handle. Hi, I'm Sugar Boy.
Sounds more like a coke dealer.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am curious about this though, because I don't know, like in this like sex positive, super woke culture, we're not supposed to judge anybody, but it's not that different from prostitution.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It isn't. It isn't like it's fulfilling a need, but there's not like prostitution. I think is a little more direct. Like what?
A need for Chanel bags.
Yeah, well, in terms of prostitution, I feel like if you look at it as like, okay, that's somebody who just needs to get their rocks off or something like that. What she was doing is providing. I don't know why I'm defending her. Like she was providing companionship to different guys, and she wouldn't even sleep with them. So there is a difference, but I don't know. I think that's all fine. All sex work is fine. Let them do it.
You got to do is fine.
They should just regulate it. That's all. Tax it. She didn't like it.
I wonder, when I first moved to New York, I was 19, and I was like super green, and someone from my hometown sent me to some casting agent, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be a huge star. And I showed up, and it was this really sketchy, obese guy that was paralyzed, and so he was just in a bed in an apartment, and people were like, okay, like go out to like this sketchy casting. And anyway, it's probably guys like that.
And so did you go?
Yeah, I did.
How was it? We're gonna end the story there?
I mean, I don't I went on some sketchy castings, and
So wait, what happened at that one though? You showed up and he's like, yeah, you'll do.
And he sent me, he would send me out. So already I should have, if I went there now, I'd be like, this is not legit, no fucking way.
Yeah.
But at 19, I was like, oh wow, like this must be how New York is. It's just you're really uncomfortable and scared, and you hope you don't get raped or murdered, but you just never know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I went to a couple. I stopped because I went to one where it was this photographer, and it just honestly seemed like a murder den. Like it was his apartment in Chinatown, and then he was like, okay, go into this back room. I just need to get something. And I was like, no fucking way.
Oh my God.
I was afraid that something bad would happen there. So I stopped doing it. And I started selling Adderall instead and making.
There you go. That's better. You need to be, keep other women more alert. That's the, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of that industry that takes advantage of people. Like I remember like 8 years ago, I was seeing a waitress from a bar in Chicago, and she had showed me, she's like, oh, I'm a model, by the way. And I was like, oh, really? Like, let me see. And she's like, it's nude modeling. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she showed me the pictures, and it was like average, like below average quality photos. And I'm like, what was this? Like, it was just,
Oh,
she was just like in the woods holding a tree naked. And I'm like, what do you do? What was this for? And she's like, well,
lockup.
yeah. And she's like, one of my customers, is a photographer, so he asked if I would like pose for him as a model. I'm like, wait a second, so you had a guy come in here and asked to take pictures of you naked in the woods? And she's like, yeah. And I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
cool, dude. So
It's the whole open of so many Law and Order SVUs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, can we bring you to the woods and leave your clothes in the car? That's crazy that she did it, but she looks great.
I mean, I hope that she's safe. Like, even I'm probably overly cautious because I got so freaked out when I first moved to New York. So like before I go on any first date, I'll tell someone where I'm going.
That really?
Yeah, for sure. And
That's nice.
well, because you never know.
Who do you tell though?
Or my sister or my roommate.
Okay, that's good. It's not good. So at least you're not calling the cops every single time. You're like, I'm going to O'Clarrigy's on Fifth Avenue. Okay, Laurel, we got you.
Can we talk about your first time on Colbert?
Yes, the first and only time I've been on Colbert.
By the time we edit this, you will have been on it again.
It feels like forever ago now. I got on I did a comedy festival, Big Sky Comedy Festival.
That's in
I
my
had gotten on, have you heard it?
Mm-hmm.
I was in Chicago and I was planning on leaving for New York in 6 months, and I auditioned for this festival, and I got in, and then during the festival, like, you do a bunch of shows, there's a competition aspect. I got to the final round of the competition, and that was pretty much it. I just met with a lot of the people in the industry, and then I met Jessica Pilot, who got me in to Colbert. Like, I was literally, I got done with the festival. I flew to Michigan to get my belongings, and then I just drove to New York the next day. And on my way into New York, she's like, hey, can you get a bunch of 5-minute sets ready, this and that? And I'm like, I have one show in 2 weeks, and then that's it for like a month, because I'm new to New York. You don't really get a lot of things.
Oh, you were new to New York? Wait,
My first day is when she called me, the first day I moved here. Yeah, I was really, really lucky and fortunate. But the downside was that I was only doing like 1 or 2 sets a week, running my late night set, or running what I thought I was going to do. So I didn't have I was just so nervous, because I was like, if I was in Chicago, I have so many clubs and so many people I know that I could just jump on a stage and run my set, and do this. But in New York, I didn't know anybody, so it was a little harder. But months went by, we recorded it. It was block booked, so it was all of us performing for the same audience back to back, 5 comics.
Oh.
And then they aired it like 6 months later. Yeah.
So when you did my show at the Lantern, how long had you been in New York?
Oh boy, I forget how long. When was that? When did I do it?
I don't know. I think you did it a couple times. I'm so lost. I feel like I'm in this like weird dream sequence with all.
Yes, the time means nothing right now. Like, I'm so lost with where we are in time.
Literally don't know.
I was probably pretty new. I've only been in New York since basically December of 2017. So basically 2018, the beginning of 2018.
I didn't know that. How did we meet? Do you remember? I have no idea.
I don't know. I think it was at a show. Probably.